everybody. Daniel Sally joined on the call here by the Hall of Fame coach Gary Turcotte as we get ready for Game 2 of today's Carroll College Thanksgiving Classic between the Lewis Clark State Warriors and, of course, the Carroll College Fighting Saints. Coach Turcotte, before we look at the starting line for today's game, not a whole lot at stake here compared to some of the past Carroll versus LC matchups with it being a non-conference schedule. However, this will be a very meaningful game for both of these teams going forward.
It is. It's Carroll LC State. It's a great rivalry game. It's been that way for quite a while, and even though there's no fans here and we're in different conferences now, it still has a different feel to it.
Before we get started here, go ahead and meet the starting lineups for both teams, starting with LC State. Starting at guard, a 5'8" senior out of Willamette, Washington, number 3, Peyton Souvenir. Joining her in the backcourt, a 5'10" junior guard out of Brookings Harbor, Oregon, Abby Farmer. Also in the backcourt, a 5'9" senior out of Hermiston, Oregon, number 11, Jansen Edmiston. In the front court, Kiara Burlage, number 23, a forward out of Columbia Falls, Montana. And playing the 5, 6'2" senior out of Kashmir, Washington, Abby Johnson. Looking at the starters for Carroll, of course, starting at guard, the senior out of Havre, Montana, number 4, Danny Wegner. Joining her out there will be a 5'9" senior guard out of Fairfield, Washington, number 10, Christine Denny. Also in the backcourt, Camden Hilborn, a 5'7" junior guard out of Clancy, Montana. Sienna Swanek, another 5'9" junior guard out of 9 Mile Falls, Washington. And rounding it out, starting out forward, a 6'2" sophomore out of Helena, Jamie Pickens. Coach Turcotte, not the same energy, like you said, in this PE Center, but same amount of talent on the floor for either team. We saw LC State put together an impressive 9-point win yesterday against Northern, and of course Carroll with a blowout victory over Valley City State. So both of these teams undefeated. Carroll now 4-0. LC State, of course, only 1-0 yesterday, being their first game. But in a battle of unbeatens, lots to look forward to.
Yeah, lots to look forward to. I think Carroll feels like they didn't play their best yesterday, and probably LC State probably feels that way too. So we're going to get a pretty sustained effort out of these two teams today.
Jamie Pickens, new to the Carroll-LC State rivalry, but she will be going toe-to-toe with Abby Johnson, who we've seen a lot of over the last couple years from LC State for the jump ball. And it's corralled by the Saints. Camden Hilborn will run the point for Carroll. Coach Sayers calls out the play. Denny will get it at the top of the key inside to Pickens. Pickens on the elbow. Ball fakes, turn around, jumper, no good off the rim. Tipped out by Swanek though. Rebound is brought down by Pickens. Pickens will go to the hoop. Nice little sidestep. That's no good. She gets her own rebound. And another lay-in by Pickens is good. 2-0. The Saints start off the scoring here. Burlage to the other end. Goes outside to Edmiston. Touched out of bounds. Last touch by LC State. The Carroll College basketball.
Well, I mean, I cannot believe how quickly LC State got that ball in bounds and got down the floor.
A lot of energy.
Yeah, they just they play with tempo. Carroll hasn't seen anybody play with this kind of tempo.
Hilborn running the point. He gets it over to the near wing. It's Danny Wegner. Now to Pickens on the elbow. Pickens seeing a lot of action here early. Passes it to her old high school teammate Hilborn. Hilborn drives, kicks to Swanek. Swanek takes the 3 and buries it. Sienna Swanek from deep. 5-0 quick run here to start off the game for Carroll. Souvenir taking it up the court. Looks like Carroll coming down to 2-3 zone early on in this game. Correction, they're start moving around. A little rotating zone, I should say. Souvenir, 3, no good. Rebounded by Swanek. Swanek pushing in transition. Dumps it off to Denny. Denny takes it back and gets it to Hilborn. Hilborn to Wegner up top. Now Christine Denny working to the far side. Back in the middle, she passes it out to Hilborn. Hilborn. Swanek, now Pickens. A lot of contact there on the elbow. Pickens dumps it off Swanek. 5 on the shot clock. Swanek drives, loses control. It's tipped out to Denny for 3 at the end of the shot clock. No good. Souvenir with the rebound. She's off to the races for LC State. To the wing she goes. It's Farmer far side. Inside to Johnson. Looks like Swanek will be called for the foul there. First team foul on the Saints, first personal for Sienna.
Yeah, I'm going to have to take a look at the matchups. I'm not quite sure. Oh yeah, that was just the break that they ended up with, Sienna Garden Johnson.
Yeah. We play at that tempo. Not a ton of time to switch, and a blocking foul called on Christine Denny. A little late there. Stepping into that restricted area as well. And that'll be 2 free throws for Abby Johnson
Yep.
from the charity stripe.
And the restricted area, Daniel, is for the help defender, not the ball side defender. So that's
Gotcha.
But you're right. She did have her foot in there. That could have gone either way. That call could have.
Johnson looking to hit both from the line. And her second one is no good, rebounded by Denny. Hilborn splits a pair of defenders at the top of the key and kicks it out to Swanek. LC State putting out a lot of pressure on defense. Looks like they're in a 1-3-1 zone here. Denny drives, kicks, Hilborn, corner 3. Yes, Camden Hilborn buries it. It's an 8-1 lead early on here for the Saints. Warriors move the ball around. It's Johnson inside Burlage. Burlage kicks. Souvenir drives. Puts it off the glass. No good. Nice defense there by Pickens. Pickens up to Hilborn. Wagner now. Open look from 3. She'll take that every time. Knocks it down. Danny Wagner. And a timeout called by Coach Orr of LC State.
It'd be interesting to see if LC State stays in that zone after giving them 3 threes. Right now, Carroll just moving the ball at will against that zone, high post, inside, outside, getting any wide open set shot threes. And that's what you don't want to give up in this game, especially a team that shoots it like Carroll does. I would guess that he goes man-to-man here, but we'll see.
Very impressive start here for Carroll. They're going to have to keep their foot on the gas out of this timeout. Already up 10 here, just 2.5 minutes into this game. Back from the timeout. Souvenir taking the ball up the court. 11-1. Carroll in the driver's seat. Now Farmer, top of the key. Back to Edmiston. It'll be Johnson with it. He drives on Wagner, puts it up off the glass. No good.
Ooh.
But a blocking foul that time on Wagner. Be 2 shots for Abby Johnson. Going to the line once again. Johnson's first free throw's up and good. Before she takes her second one, just a reminder that the Fighting Saints Network, sponsored by Point S Tire and Auto Service, 2 convenient locations to service all your automobile repair needs, and the presenting sponsor for the Fighting Saints Network. Offensive rebound off the missed free throw. Johnson gets another look at a 3 there. It's rebounded by the Saints, and a foul called on LC State, so it'll go the other way. 11-2. Carroll up by 9. 2 points coming off of 2 Abby Johnson free throws. Both split pairs by her.
Yeah, LC's playing man-to-man. They got out of their zone.
Pickens on the elbow, out to Wagner. Wagner drives. Looking for Pickens on the roll. Doesn't have her there. Misses a lay-in, but it's rebounded by Pickens and off the glass for 2. Jamie Pickens off to a quick start here with 4 points. Johnson dumps it off. Edmiston inside to Burlage. Looks like Pickens will get called for a foul on that one.
Yeah.
A little forearm to the back.
Carroll's got to be careful. That's 4 fouls already. And that's one of the weaknesses I see early in the year of Carroll. Just a little too much fouling. Oh, and she just got her second one.
2 on Jamie.
Ooh, that really hurt.
Maddie Garretts will check in and give Pickens a break. And I was just about to point out that it was, 4 quick fouls on Carroll, but they were all on different people. But now Pickens with a quick 5th there.
And now you got your best player, or one of your best 2 or 3, in foul trouble. And LC State's they're in the bonus the rest of the quarter.
Burlage knocks down her first. She'll shoot one more. Second one is up, and it's good. And, another thing to note is this is a long LC State team, so Jamie's size is nice to have out there.
Oh, she's a huge difference maker.
Swanek up the court. To Denny she goes. Denny, step back jumper. Off the rim, no good. Wagner comes up with an offensive rebound. Wagner had 11 rebounds yesterday. Not bad for a 2-guard. Wagner back into Garrett's on the elbow. Garretts takes it off the dribble, goes to the hoop, draws the contact. She'll step to the line for 2 free throws.
And that's the way you go to the hoop. You go that hard, and that assertively, good things are going to happen.
You're almost bound to draw contact at that point. Garrett's first free throw's up and good.
You know, Daniel, one thing I've noticed about Maddie, when she gets off to a good start like that, she has good games.
Momentum.
Yesterday she never really got going. So that little play right there, making her free throws, is going to help her.
Second free throw good there for Garrett. And we know she can score. I mean, we've seen her score in double figures a number of times now over the last couple seasons. Of course, the notable game last season at Tech, I think she finished with 19 in that one, maybe 22. And of course, who else but Camden Hilborn getting her feet in front, drawing the charge.
That's good defense.
She does that better than anyone I've maybe ever seen.
Yeah, she just great mobility, lateral mobility.
Of course, now Hilborn will take the ball up the floor for the Saints. 15-4, Carroll in the lead by 11. 5:45 remaining here in the first quarter. Swanek, top of the key. High screen from Denny. Swanek takes the jumper from the elbow. That's no good. Garrett's tips it out. It's rebounded by Peyton Souvenir. Souvenir off to the races in transition. Wasting no time, goes to Edmiston. And what do you know? There's that quick travel call. Saw it a lot yesterday from both teams. Here it is again.
They're going to referee this pretty tight, at least to start. Any contact is a foul, and they're watching feet hard to see if there's traveling.
Camden Hilborn goes to Denny. Denny on the elbow. Finds Wagner cutting and off the glass and good. Danny Wagner with a nice move to the hoop there for two. 5:13 remaining in the first quarter. It's Abby Johnson with it, posting up on Christine Denny. She takes to the hoop, off the glass, and good. Hilborn quickly up the court, finds Swanek. Swanek pump fakes. Now Denny. Denny on the drive, off the glass, and good. Count the basket for Christine Denny. She does that just better than just about anyone you can find.
The thing about Christine is she can make jump shots, she can drive left, and she can drive right. Either way, and she can finish with either hand.
She can post up too.
She can post up. She's just a mismatch for just about anybody.
Danny's one free throw, I should say. Her one free throw up and no good. So missed the chance at a three-point play there. Saints in the lead by 13. Now in the game, a couple players we saw yesterday from LC State, Heidi Selman and Sarah Muehlhausen. Nice drive there by Farmer. Her shot no good. Garrett's comes up with the rebound. We got a tie-up possession arrow favoring Lewis Clark State. The Warriors will keep it. Farmer to inbound from the baseline. Farmer looking for someone, getting close there. Got to get it in. She passed it up to Edmiston. Jaden Lyman now in the game, and immediately, of course, she forces a turnover. Swanek with the steal. Finds Wagner up the court. Easy bucket in transition for Danny Wagner.
Well, that's great stuff right there.
Good basket.
That really is.
Love it. Abby Farmer. The top of the key. Selman. Selman posting up on Denny. Nice help defense from Lyman. Kick it out to Edmiston. Edmiston's three's no good. Selman gets the rebound, goes up over Denny, off the glass, and good for two. 21-8. Carroll in the driver's seat still here. 3:55 remaining in the first quarter. Denny drive, spin, kicks it out. Lyman. Lyman swings it around, back up to Christine Denny at the top of the key. She goes to Garrett's on the elbow, turnaround Jay, and that one is good. Maddie Garrett's playing with a lot of confidence early on in this ball game, Coach.
She gets going like that, she can really grow. You know, she led them in scoring a couple of games ago. I think she had like 17.
Yeah, it was against Dickinson.
Yeah.
Johnson across the court. Edmiston takes the three, and she can shoot it. She
well,
knocks
that's a
it
pretty.
Down.
She didn't have very much room there, and she drained that. That's a pretty shot.
Lyman up the court, goes to Wagner, far side. Wagner.
LC back in their zone now.
2-3 zone. Swanek. Lyman. Now Garrett's in the middle, kicks it out. Swanek thinks about the drive instead. Holds up, passes to Lyman. Garrett's with it, and Garrett's looking for Wagner in the corner, throws a turnover. Farmer credited with the steal on that one. Here comes Farmer up the court. She drives, puts one up, no good. And it's rebounded by Denny. Shuffle for the ball, but Denny ends up with it. Denny drives.
That's a kick. That is a kick, guys.
It's a miss there. Ref's getting back in transition. Three-pointer up from Muehlhausen. That's no good. They'll let that one roll out of bounds. So a missed kick, but a missed bucket on the other end, and Carroll will get it back with no harm done. Emma Madsen checking into the game. Christine will get a break, and Hilborn will come give Swanwick a break. So it's nice seeing how Coach Sayers can rotate that lineup. Yeah,
and she likes to. Emma could help him at the four, at the power forward, you know, she's very capable of helping this basketball team.
Emma Madsen missed a lot of time last year with a meniscus injury. Was able to help a little later on in the season. But now Madsen at full strength. Gets to Wagner, back to Madsen on the far side. Inside she goes. It's Lyman. Lyman back out to Madsen. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Carroll's got to hurry. Madsen to Hilborn. Hilborn's got to put one up. And too late. He's got a hook shot up in the lane, but
now Emma had a chance to take a shot there, and she didn't. You got to know how much time's on the clock. Where's the pass coming? When there's clock is running down and the ball comes to you in your shooting pocket, you got to know you're going to shoot it before you catch it.
Warriors basketball. Burlage up top, and it's stolen by Madsen. Madsen on the break, puts it up off the glass. Oh, and can't get the roll. Nice job by Emma there, shielding contact, just cannot get it to roll in. Three-pointer on the other end by Edmiston, and that's good. 23-14. Coach Sayers will call a 30-second timeout, and you know there's always momentum shifts in these games, and Carroll missing at one end and giving up a three at the other end. That's one of those things.
LC is so explosive with the three-point game that they have. You know, a 10-point lead means nothing with them. And you get a couple of turnovers, a couple of missed shots, and they're down there shooting threes, and just like that, your lead's wiped out.
Yeah, down into single digits for the first time since Carroll was up 11-1. So 23-14 to score, 128 remaining in the first quarter. And I mean, no reason to hit the panic button if you're Carroll, but some things that Coach Sayers saw that felt, you know, bringing the team over for 30 seconds and figure out from there. Back from the timeout, it'll be Jaden Lyman running the point for the Saints. Lyman. Wagner now to the near side. Find Madsen on the elbow, out to Hilborn for three. No good. Farmer comes up with the board. Quickly up the court she goes. It's Edmiston, guarded by Hilborn up top. We go to Burlage. Burlage guarded by Madsen. Goes by her up to the left side, and a basket with the foul for Kiara Burlage. She'll step to the line with a chance at the three-point play. Madsen will get a break. Danny will check in for her. Burlage. And that one's good. So Burlage finishes the three-point play. Lyman running point. 48 seconds left here in the first quarter. Carroll, their lead, down to 6. Lyman for three on the other end, off the rim, and no good. So a short cold spell here for the Carroll offense. Burlage for three at the top of the key, off the rim, no good. Garretts gets the rebound. About a half a second difference between the shot clock and the game clock, so Carroll probably going to play for the last shot. Depends on what kind of look they get here, though. Lyman, far side. Hilborn now into Denny. Denny on the drive, puts it on the ground, loses it, but a foul called. That'll be a reach in. I believe it's on Abby Farmer. We're in the bonus now, so Christine will step to the line to shoot two with 13.5 seconds on the clock. Nice opportunity here for the Saints. And Denny with the free throw. It's Carroll back on track. Lead back to 7. Denny will shoot one more. It's up, and it's good. Christine Denny goes and hits a pair. Points at the clock as she's running back on defense. 10 seconds left. 8-point lead for Carroll. Farmer going to take Hilborn off the dribble. Tries to get by her and can't, but gets a layup
Tough
off
shot.
the glass. And that's
Tough
very
shot.
impressive. And we know how good of an on-ball defender Hilborn is.
Farmer's tough. You know, I noticed the other day she's a good player. She's also a very good defender, probably their best defender.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back here in about a minute. Carroll in the lead, 25-19 here on the Fighting Saints Network. Second quarter coming up next. Back from the timeout, Daniel Sally here on the Fighting Saints Network, joined by Gary Turcott. Carroll up 25-19, but that lead was double digits for most of the first quarter with LC State going on a run at the end to cut it close.
I don't think either team's going to really run the other one away. They're just too evenly matched.
Yes, and well coached.
Yep, they are.
Hilborn running the offense for the Saints off the break. Inside she goes to Lyman. Lyman pulls it back out and gives it to Hilborn. Hilborn to Denny. Finds Lyman. Lyman open from the corner for three. Off the rim, no good. Rebounded that time by Rachel Schroeder of LC State. Schroeder, a sophomore out of Post Falls, Idaho. Genesis Prep, I believe that's where Johnny Hillman, our very own Johnny Hillman, the men's team, went to school as well. Inside pass, it's Schroeder. Schroeder with a nice game off the bench yesterday for LC State. Souvenir now setting up the offense. And Garrett's knocks the pass loose. It'll go out of bounds. It'll be LC State ball. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Inbounding the ball, Sikora. Burlage looking for a backdoor pass to Johnson. It's stolen by Denny. Read it like a book. Denny over the top to Garrett's off the glass and good. Nice defense, a steal and an assist for Christine Denny there, setting up Garrett's for 2. Souvenir. Moves around Burlage. Inside. Sikora. Spin around. Turn around move over Swanek. Good for 2 points. Now it's just back and forth here. The second quarter. Denny. Swanek now. Up top. It's Camden Hilborn. Camden Hilborn. Looking for a pick. Instead she gets it over to Wagner. Wagner on the elbow. Takes the dribble with her left. Kicks it out. Swanek for 3. Off the rim. No good.
Rebound, Rachel Schroeder.
Souvenir with the basketball. Taking it up the court now. Dumps it off Burlage for 3.
Oh.
And that one is good. I'll tell you, Kiera Burlage, she's got a very versatile game.
She really does. That's a long shot with not a lot of room.
We talked about in the last game, a lot of good talent here coming out of Montana. Kiera Burlage out of Columbia Falls, knocking them down for LC State. Wagner to Denny on the elbow. Denny looking for Hilborn, gets it to her in the corner. Good ball movement by the Saints. They go to Garrett's. Of course, Garrett's getting a lot of minutes here with Pickens on the bench with 2 fouls. Wagner's 3 off the rim, no good, but bounced back out and tipped by Garrett's to Wagner. Another rebound for Danny Wagner. She's great at those long rebounds. Hilborn back to Wagner, another open 3. And you can't give her that shot twice. If she misses the first one, she's definitely making the second. Souvenir getting up the court, running the point for the Warriors. Works her way to the left. Gets it over to Burlage. Burlage on the drive. Hilborn set up for a charge. Some contact there. No call, though. And a late whistle coming from the back. That'll be a shooting foul.
Foul on Danny Wagner, second, team first.
Genesis Wilkinson checking into the game.
Jansen Edmiston in.
Will be
Genesis.
Matty Garrett heading to the bench.
Carol with the 10-person rotation right now, 10 people that she's playing regularly, and that's a lot. But it's so good for your team if you can play that many players. It helps with avoiding injury. It keeps girls involved. And this will be 11. Molly will be number 11.
Free throw up, and Burlage knocks it down. Yeah, we've seen McDermott, Madsen, Garrett, Lyman, Wilkinson all come off the bench. Now Molly McDermott checking in. 5-point lead for the Saints. Saints looking for a bucket. Camden Hilborn setting up the offense. Passes off to Swanek. Back to Hilborn. Open look from three. Off the rim, no good. McDermott with the rebound. Puts it on the ground. Goes up with it, no good. Wilkinson with the rebound. That's off the glass and in for two. Farmer to the other end, to the corner she goes. Nice ball movement by the Warriors. They get it back to Farmer up top. Burlage now on the elbow, guarded by Wilkinson. Wilkinson with her eyes on that ball. Burlage drives by, puts it off the glass. No good. Nice defense on that shot.
It was good defense by
Hilborn to the other end. Danny thinks about the three, instead pump fakes, passes it off to Hilborn, now to Swanek. Hilborn with it again. Back to Swanek. Inside they go to Wilkinson. Nice quick pass out to McDermott for three. Off the rim, no good.
Good look.
Burlage with the rebound. And there's a foul called there on Christine. So 7-point lead for Carroll. 2 fouls this quarter. 6:15 left in the half. Farmer leading the charge for this Warriors offense. Souvenir getting a rest right now, so Farmer taking over the point guard duties. Emma Madsen will check back in.
That's 2 fouls on Christine, yeah. So Carroll's 2 best post players, they're 4 and they're 5. Christine and Pickens both with 2 fouls. So there's a lot of time left here in this quarter with those 2 on the bench.
Gonna need some valuable minutes here from Madsen and from Wilkinson. Schroeder, near side, guarded by Hilborn. Takes her off the dribble. Step back 3. No good. Madsen comes down with the board. Here comes Hilborn to the other end. Gets it out to McDermott. McDermott, far side. Back to Hilborn. Hilborn thinking about a shot, instead goes to Wilkinson from the elbow. Off the glass, no good. Madsen tips it out. Saints with a fresh 20. Hilborn setting up the offense. He goes to Swanek. Back to Hilborn. Open look from the wing. No good on the 3. Madsen with the rebound. And a foul called on the rebound. They got McDermott on that, but I think he might have meant to call that on Madsen.
Yeah, I think they did. Yeah. 34-35.
It's only Molly's first foul.
Yeah,
so.
it's a
Molly guarding Farmer here. She gets the ball up the court. Switch on the screen. They go for Johnson. McDermott, nice contest, but it's in for 2 for Abby Johnson. Back down to a 5-point Carroll lead. 5 minutes remaining here in the second quarter. Hilborn. Now Madsen. Inside to Wilkinson. Right back out to Hilborn. Hilborn looking for Wilkinson. It's a steal, though, for LC State. Edmiston comes up with it. Farmer will slow it down, set up the offense for LC. Farmer, guarded by Hilborn, gets it to Edmiston. Edmiston, far side. Pump fakes, gets it to Burlage. Burlage, guarded by Madsen, takes her inside, goes up, off the glass, no good. Nice defense there by Madsen, gets the rebound. Outlet pass to Swanek. Swanek off to the races. She takes it up runner, and that one's good.
nice play by Sienna. Coast to coast, under control.
Burlage. Now Farmer. Farmer off the dribble, gets it over to Burlage. Burlage tries to drive by Wilkinson, denied, kicks it out. Schroeder for three, and that one's good. Big three there for Rachel Schroeder.
We're looking at a pretty high level of basketball execution right now.
Very good.
Yeah.
Madsen elbow. Back out to Hilborn. Three-pointer up from Hilborn. And speaking of execution, Hilborn buries it.
Nice pass by Emma Madsen. Nice pass.
Great ball movement there by the Saints. We've seen all first half. Johnson on the drive. Tries to get by Madsen, and a foul call on Madsen. I think that'll be her second.
Yeah.
So now Madsen with two, Denny with two, and Pickens also with two. Garrett's check back in. And if Garrett's and Wilkinson can get the Saints through the rest of this quarter,
yeah, that's
be nice to not get a third foul
yeah.
on either of those three players I just named. Johnson's free throws up and good, and before she takes her second, Carroll Athletics brought to you proudly by First Interstate Bank. First Interstate Bank has several branches throughout the Helena area and over 80 locations across Montana, Wyoming, and South Dakota to serve our customers. And KXLH, the leader in local news, weather, and sports. Tune in to KXLH Channel 9 for everything you need to know for the Helena community. Two free throws good by Johnson. Now McDermott has it back to Hilborn. Garrett's almost loses on the elbow. Instead, nice pass over the top to Wilkinson.
Oh,
good for two.
Beautifully done.
Nice high-low game there by the Saints. Farmer drives in. Blocking foul called on the Fighting Saints.
Now, so that's 5 fouls now against Carroll, 0 against LC. And the reason for that is LC's in that zone, and they just don't foul much in that zone. They're long, and they play those passing lanes, and, you know, you don't really drive it very much. And Carroll playing man-to-man, and LC is running dribble drive, and they're coming at you every single time coming downhill.
You don't have those on-ball fouls.
You don't.
Farmer's first free throw no good. Her second up, and that one's no good. So Farmer misses them both.
And LC's a very good free throw shooting team. I haven't mentioned that, but they just missed 2, so.
Yeah,
but they don't do that very often.
8 of 13 from the free throw line today, not like them. Wilkinson, high post, gets it out to Hilborn. Shot clock down to 10 seconds for the Saints. Hilborn takes her dribble. It's over to Swanwick. Swanwick's going to have to do something here with 5 seconds on the clock. She drives in, puts up a runner.
Oh, tough shot.
Oh, my gosh. What a nice play
That's
by Sienna
tough
Swanwick.
shot. That's
the explosiveness combined with the body control.
The body
Excellent.
control. Yeah, you don't see girls make those shots very often.
Sienna, one of the best athletes you'll find in the Frontier Conference. It's LC State basketball. With it is Weaver. He gets to Edmiston. Edmiston drives on Swanwick. She gets her own rebound, though. Long rebound for LC. Edmiston with a quick shot, and that one's good.
Holy cow, that girl can shoot.
Yeah.
The thing about it, Daniel, she doesn't need any room.
No, she's got that high release point.
You can have a hand right in her face.
That high release point is impressive.
Yeah.
Hilborn, Garrett's high post, back out to Hilborn. Hilborn on the far side, now gets to McDermott. Now Wilkinson. Wilkinson steps through, takes a dribble, looks for Garrett's. It's tipped out of bounds. Last touch by the Warriors. It'll be Carroll basketball. They'll have 9 seconds to run a little set here from the baseline. Carroll with a long lineup out there right now. Wilkinson, Garrett's, and McDermott all on the court, joined with a backcourt of Swanwick and Hilborn. And as McDermott drives, she gets fouled. So it'll be first on LC
First
State.
foul, yeah, for the quarter.
Abby Farmer's second foul. Hilborn inbounds. Find Hilborn up the top. Garrett's to the corner now. Inside they go to Wilkinson. Wilkinson posts up. Baby hook with the left. No good rebound. Garrett's off the glass and in. I tell you, the production Carroll is getting out of their backup forwards
they're getting
is
some
impressive.
nice, yeah. And those two seem like they have a little chemistry.
I love it.
Yeah. A lot of times
bench unit.
Yeah.
Shot up no good by Selman.
Oh.
And stolen by Selman.
That was a bad turnover. Ooh.
And a miss by Selman, so a lot going on there. Just a matter of seconds. Saints get it up quickly. Swanwick, corner three, no good. Offensive rebound, McDermott off the glass and no good. And a bit of a frustration foul there as Selman comes down with the rebound. And that's a tough break there for Molly.
It is.
It was a great play away
It
from the ball
was.
to get to that rebound.
And then the bad news is you put LC State at the free throw line. I mean,
And it's their second foul.
of all the bad things that can happen in 2 seconds, they all just happened to Molly.
2 free throws.
But she hustled to get to the
It was
rebound.
a great
so.
play away from the ball.
Yeah.
Selman at the line. First shot is up, and that one's good. Before she takes her second,
You
Carroll
know,
Athletics proudly. Oh, go for it.
Selma's keeping this team in the game. I mean, when they need it,
productive.
she's the one that's producing for
Yeah,
them.
good production off the bench for Selman. Free throw up, and that one's no good. So LC State continuing to struggle at the charity stripe. 48 seconds left. Swanwick, Wilkinson high post. Inside. Swanwick dumps it off to Garrett's. Low pass. Garrett tries to come up with it, and it's stolen after the miss by LC State. Down to the other end. It's fumbled away by Weaver, but it's knocked out of bounds by Hilborn. 26 seconds on the shot clock. 32 seconds on the game clock here in the first half. Not the first quarter, first half. Saints in the lead by 8. Farmer over the top with the inbound. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Farmer drives. Gets it outside. It's Weaver, guarded by Hilborn. Now Farmer. Farmer drives. Schroeder puts it up, and that one's good. Excuse me, Muehlhausen, not Schroeder. Puts 8 seconds on the clock here in the first half. Saints looking for a good shot. Swanwick pump fake, step back three. Off the rim, off the glass. The bank is open. 46 to 37, a nice 9-point lead for the Saints going into the half. We'll go ahead and take a quick break here, Gary, but when we come back, a couple minutes later, we'll go through the stats, talk about the first half, look ahead to the second half, all that and much more here as Carroll leads 46-37 on the Fighting Saints Network. Daniel Sally here with Gary Turcotte on the Fighting Saints Network as at halftime, Carroll leads LC State 46-37 here. Final game of the Thanksgiving Classic. And as I bring in Coach Turcotte, looking at the stats here, leading scores for Carroll, Danny Wagner with 10, Sienna Swanek also with 10. Burlage leading the scoring for LC State with 9, 12 of 26 from the field for LC State, shooting a clip of 46%. Carroll shooting 45%, 18 of 40 from the field, but 14 more field goal attempts for the Saints than LC. Carroll 6 of 16 from 3, LC State 4 of 10 from 3. And at the free throw line, Carroll 4 of 5. We mentioned LC State normally a very good free throw shooting team, 9 of 15 tonight, only shooting 60%. As we look at the stats here, Coach, anything really jump out at you?
Well, it's kind of a typical Carroll LC State game in that LC State gets to the free throw line more than Carroll. LC State causes more turnovers than Carroll with their zone. But LC State gives up offensive rebounds. They play zone, and it's hard to box out. And, you know, Carroll has 11 offensive rebounds. LC State has 5. Statistically, it's kind of the way it goes. Although Carroll with 6 more field goals and 2 more field goals from the 3, Carroll kind of actually dominated that half, but because they put LC State to the free throw line, LC State's still in the ball game. A couple of interesting things that I saw. Carroll was really on a roll, playing about as well as you can play, and then they kind of got in a little bit of foul trouble, had to go to their bench, and they went into a little lull, especially their post players. Jamie Pickens picked up 2 fouls very early. Christine Denny picked up 2 fouls. So Coach Sayers, you know, she's trying to figure out a combination. Who can step in and help me? And she played Maddie Garrett's and Genesis Wilkinson together, which I have never seen her do before. But they played together, and they had real nice chemistry. They really played well. And with about 6 minutes to go in the second quarter, I thought, you know, Carroll's in trouble because they're in foul trouble, and they've got these girls in here, and LC State's playing better, but those 2 girls played really well together. Some high lows, some rebounds, some nice passes, and that was able to sustain Carroll through that kind of little drought they had.
A couple important things to note. You mentioned foul trouble for Carroll. Well, at halftime, 5 players with 2 fouls for the Saints. McDermott, Madsen, and we mentioned Denny and Pickens, as well as Danny Wagner. And another player in this game who was on the bench a lot for the first half was Peyton Souvenir, who also has 2 fouls. Mm-hmm. So the 2 starting guards for LC State, Peyton Souvenir, Abby Farmer, both with 2 fouls at the half. But we saw Souvenir spend a lot of time on the bench there in the second quarter. So we'll see what she brings to the table in the second half as well. Like you said, when we went to break, I mean, this has just been phenomenal basketball by both sides. We're looking at some of the upper echelon talent in the entire NAIA right here in front of us today.
We are. It is so tough, especially at the beginning of the year, to guard dribble drive offense that LC State runs with girls that are that skilled, that shoot the ball that well, handle the ball that well. And Carroll gave up 15 free throws that half, and that's just too many. That's just way too many, but it is so tough to keep the ball in front of you against that kind of skill and talent, especially at the beginning of the year with the COVID that everybody's had, and how much time can you really spend on defending the dribble in practice? I mean, it's real important, believe me, but I know that Coach Sayers has not been able to spend the time that she would like to spend at that. And that gives LC a real shot to win this game the second half, because that they run that dribble drive well. They have a lot of girls can really get to the rim and draw fouls, and they're long. And Carroll's going to have to be able to try to defend that without fouling, without putting them to the line 15 times this half.
So obviously Carroll needing to clean up a little bit defensively. For LC State, for Coach Brian Orr, what do you think they're going to work on adjusting here as we go into the second half of basketball?
Well, they 20 minutes of that half, they probably played about 15 minutes of it. They played zone. They played about 5 minutes of man-to-man. I think that's what Coach Orr likes to do. His best defense is his zone. They need to cause a few more turnovers with Carroll. The inside-outside hurt them. The high-low hurt them. They play the way they play. They don't usually adjust as much as some teams do. They're going to play their game, and you better be pretty sharp or they're going to sneak by you.
Well, Carroll leads at the half, 46-37. A lot of good basketball left to be played here in these final 20 minutes, and we got it all for you coming up next here on the Fighting Saints Network. Back for the second half, Daniel Sally here in the PE Center, joined by Coach Gary Turcotte, coming to you on the Fighting Saints Network. 46-37, a 9-point lead for Carroll at the half as both teams get ready to take the floor here. Looks like it'll be Carroll's starting five coming back out there. Nice to see Jamie Pickens back, playing only 3 minutes in the first half after getting 2 fouls early.
Yeah, she's got to learn from that, Probably that second, she got him so quick.
Yeah.
That second foul was really unnecessary that she got off the ball and just not needed. It's all a learning experience. It's early in the year, and she's got to be careful. She's a great player. We need her out there.
Absolutely. Taking the floor for LC, it'll be their starting five. I mentioned Peyton Souvenir spending a lot of time on the bench. Number 3, the point guard, the facilitator, the floor general for the LC State offense. Souvenir out there with Abby Johnson, Abby Farmer, Kiara Burlage, and Jansen Edmiston. It'll be LC State ball to start the second half. Burlage, top of the key, guarded by Pickens. Burlage looking for something. Shot clock moving down to 15. Edmiston inside, and there it is, that shot. So hard to defend, Coach.
And Sienna, that's the second time that's happened to her, getting caught playing behind at the low post. She can't give that shot up.
Hilborn pass it off to Denny. Now Wagner. Wagner, Swanek. Back to Wagner, looking for Hilborn. Pass is knocked loose by Souvenir. Back in the game and already making a difference. Hilborn on the ground, gets it up to Denny for 3. And Denny can't get the roll. Had some tough luck on her long jumpers today. Hilborn. 15 seconds on the shot clock for the Saints after the rebound. Wagner, corner 3, yes. Danny Wagner can shoot the 3 with the best of them. 49-39, Saints lead back up to double digits. Peyton Souvenir off to Burlage. Burlage guarded by Pickens on the elbow. Burlage finds Souvenir. Souvenir, nice pump fake, gets Hilborn, but she can't finish the
misses a bunny
jumper. Hilborn up the court, Swanek near side. Back to Hilborn, looking for Danny inside, knocked loose. Stolen by Farmer. Farmer tries to get up to Souvenir, and that's stolen by Hilborn and Denny. Hilborn. Denny, nice little move in. Kicks it out. Hilborn back to Denny now. Christine on the drive, kicks it out. Danny Wagner, another open 3 from the corner. Got it! Danny Wagner knocking him down here. She's got 16 points right
Great ball
now.
movement by Carol. Just great spacing, idea of concentrate, playing with an idea of what you want to do against a zone.
Abby Johnson to the elbow, it's Burlage. Burlage taking Pickens off the dribble. Pickens, good job getting in front. Farmer drives now by Wagner. Good defense on the shot by Wagner. Farmer can't get it to roll. Hilborn off to the races now for the Saints. She'll slow it down, get it to Swanek far side. Swanek, Wagner. They were ready for the 3 that time, and she gets it back up to Hilborn. Now they find a cutting Swanek off the glass, and a great move. Saints executing very nicely on offense to start off this second half. They lead by 15, a game high, 54-39. On the other end, Edmiston. Edmiston, guarded by Swanek. Pass it to Souvenir. And an offensive foul on Johnson. Great job by Pickens to draw the contact.
Yeah, just real good, solid position by Jamie. Yeah.
Jamie Pickens on the other end of the contact for the first time today.
I was afraid she was going to pick up her 3rd there, and she just played such solid defense.
Yeah. Saints bench showing a lot of energy here in the PE Center. Replicating the crowd noise we don't have today. Swanek, far side, it's Wagner, now Hilborn. LC State making sure they defend those corners as Denny drives again, kicks to Hilborn, almost loses it out of bounds. Shot clock down to 8. Wagner looking to create, she gets it to Hilborn for 3 from the wing. Yes! Camden Hilborn, the Saints are making it rain here in the second half.
And Danny Wagner did a nice job of setting up her teammate for that 3-point shot.
18-point lead for Carol. Burlage on the other end with a quick bucket to respond for LC State. Danny Wagner doing it all in the second half. She's shooting, she's creating, she's defending.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's one thing I see her game has gotten better. Her passing has gotten better.
Danny inside, nice open look. Good from about 8 feet. Danny knocks it in for 2. Saints lead back up to 18, game high. Souvenir on the drive. Kicks to Johnson. Johnson up the floor, off the glass, no good, a little long there. Good defense by Denny. Swanek gets the board, gets to Hilborn. Saints playing with a strong tempo right now. Hilborn looking for Denny on the elbow, kick ball off the foot of Peyton Souvenir. They got it that time.
Daniel, before we go to break here, Carroll's starting 5 is chewing up that zone. I mean, they just are playing absolutely precision basketball, attacking the zone exactly with a purpose. Where I think Carroll might have a little bit of trouble is when they sub and they don't have that experience of how to play against a zone. There's a flow and a way that you play against zones. That starting 5, they really do get it. Interesting to see when Rochelle has to sub, if those other girls are able to do the same.
Very fine job by that Carroll offense here early in the third quarter. I'm going to go ahead and stay right here, get a couple of these sponsorship reads in as Can't forget Carroll Athletics, sponsored by Placer Motors. Kelly Blue Book named Subaru the most trusted brand. Lowest cost to own and best resale value for 2019. Get your new Subaru at Placer Motors, a proud sponsor of Carroll College and Saints Athletics. Also Opportunity Bank. Opportunity Bank of Montana is you're built for the Montana way of life with everything from agricultural and equipment loans to small business and personal banking. Opportunity Bank, your local bank, your opportunity. Montana Radio Company, tune in to Rewind 94.9 for all your Fighting Saints action. Coach Turcotte and I will be bringing you Frontier Conference basketball for Carroll all season long. Also the Independent Record. The Independent Record is your local source for news and information since 1867. The IR also has all of Fighting Saints news and notes. Subscribe for a local delivery or check out HelenaIR.com and the new 406MTsports.com for the latest Carroll College sports updates, as well as the college and high school sports around Big Sky Country. Back from the break, it's Carroll basketball. 5.5 minutes left in the third. It's Swanwick up top for the Saints. Now Wagner back to Swanwick. Swanwick thinks about it, goes into Denny on the elbow. Denny drives, draws a lot of attention. Back out to Swanwick. Swanwick drives, runner. Can't get it before the shot clock, but Pickens gets the rebounds, goes back up with it and good. It was about as close to a shot clock violation there as you can get.
Right on the buzzer, yeah.
But the Saints with a nice second chance bucket. Peyton Souvenir. Inside they go to Burlage, and they're going to get Jamie Pickens with her third foul there. Tough break for Jamie.
She's gotten all 3 fouls the same way.
Forearm.
All with the forearm, trying to push a girl off her spot. Just cut in front of her.
Souvenir over the top, it's Burlage. Guarded by Pickens on the outside. Passes it off to Souvenir, step back three, blocked by Swanwick. Great defense, then she boxes out after she blocks the shot, opening the door for Wagner to get the rebound. Good team ball there as Wagner finds a cutting Denny backdoor. Denny looking underneath for Pickens, gets it back, kicks to Swanwick. Hilborn will get it and slow it down to set up the offense. Denny up top. Works to the far wing. Moves it off to Hilborn. Shot clock to 6 seconds. Pickens operating from the elbow. Dumps it off to Wagner for three. Got it! Tandy Wagner. My gosh, she cannot stop. 19 points for the senior out of Havre. Three-pointer on the other end from Johnson. And it's rebounded. Saints let her take that one as Pickens pulls it down. Hilborn with the ball now. Saints lead up to 23 points now as Pickens can't hit the three. Rebounded by LC State. How about Carroll outscoring LC in this quarter 18-4 so far? Farmer on the other end. Looking for Johnson. It's stolen by Wagner. Saints firing on all cylinders as Wagner gets it up the court. Passed off to Hilborn. Swanwick. Far wing. Goes to Denny. Denny up high. Looking for a cutter. Finds Wagner underneath the basket. Wagner a little post hook, and it's good.
Now, I got to tell you, Danny Wagner's having herself some kind of a ball game.
I'll tell you, when she gets going, it's very special to see. Swanwick on the rebound off the missed three-pointer. She'll make her way up the court. She gets to Denny. Denny up high. Off the dribble. Here goes Christine. Off the glass, and one. Christine Denny and the Saints, like I just said, firing on all cylinders.
And LC switched to man-to-man, and 2 times in a row, Carroll burned them. They like to play their zone, and when the zone kind of goes to heck, then they'll play a little bit of man-to-man, but that's not the defense they like to play. And Carroll just, got 2 layups off it.
Line change for LC State, a whole fresh 5 checking in there, that bench unit. Denny's free throw up, and she knocks it down. And just like that, I mean, my gosh, the Saints were able to stretch it to a 9-point lead at halftime. Don't look now. They're up by 28.
It's hard to believe. I've never
69-41. I think it's safe to say this third quarter is the best quarter of basketball that they've played all season so far. Drive from Schroeder on the other end, and a foul called on Molly McDermott on the shot. Schroeder will go to line for 2, and that's McDermott's 3rd foul. Lyman will check in, give Hilborn a break. And some well-deserved rest for that starting unit for Carroll right now. Schroeder's free throw's up, and that one's no good. She'll shoot one more. It's up, and it's good. So Schroeder splits the pair of free throws at the stripe, 69-42. Saints in the driver's seat, 2:55 left here in the third quarter.
And this unit's gone back to the zone. And they're just more comfortable playing zone. LC State is.
Jaden Lyman over to Swanek. Garrett's now from the elbow. She gets an open look, puts it up, no good off the side of the rim.
Rebound, Hannah Broyles.
Court, it's Maddie Weaver. Good ball movement by the Warriors with it now. Hannah Broyles, sophomore out of Moscow, Idaho. She passed it off to Weaver. It's stolen by Garrett. Garrett's on the break. Makes a move to the basket, off the glass.
Nice
coast
finish.
to coast for Mad
Nice
Dog.
finish by Maddie, coast to coast. Yep.
Saints knocking on the door of a 30-point lead. They lead 71-42, 2:05 left in the third quarter. Hannah Broyles there, passed it out to Weaver. Weaver drives, spin move, up and in.
Touch
Nice
shot.
move.
Yep.
Madeline Weaver.
Carroll's lead, now 27. Coach Sayers give Lyman the play call. She works to the far side, right in front of that Carroll's bench, socially distanced bench, I might add. Resemblance of the NBA bubble, which you'd love to see. Swanek for three from the near side, off the rim, no good. It's rebounded by Selman. Selman dumps it out. LC State works back up the floor. Schroeder looking to drive, and a charge.
Jaden Lyman, she's taken a million of them.
Millions.
And they tried to isolate her over there and go one-on-one from the right wing. And she said, you try to isolate me, I'm going to take a charge on you.
Kyle Olsen checking in for the Saints. And, I mean, between Jaden and Camden, I mean, as
Yeah.
far as point guards, getting in front, taking those charges,
Oh, those
very
are big
impressive.
plays. They're big plays.
Lyman to McDermott, top of the key. Now Kyle Olsen for three from the corner, no good. Tipped out, last touch by Carroll. Lyman inbounding, gets to the corner. Kyle Olsen pump fakes, thinks about the three instead. Drives, pass it over to Lyman. 15 seconds on the shot clock, 50 seconds on the game clock. Here in the third, Carroll with a big lead. McDermott for three.
There we
Boom!
go, Molly.
Molly McDermott knocks it in. Big confidence boost there for Molly McDermott as she knocks it in, and it's a 30-point lead for Carroll College. A 28-7 run right now for the Saints for this third quarter. Kyle Olsen comes up with a steal.
Maddie Garrett's good post defense there.
Excellent.
Caused that turnover.
Lyman. Saints likely to play for the last shot. You know, it always depends on what kind of lick you can get before then. No, Wilkinson to Lyman. Clock now at 5. Now McDermott, pump fakes, drives it in, kicks it out. Lyman for three. And of course, Jaden Lyman knocks it in. A 31-7 quarter differential in favor of the Saints. Coach Sayers and her girls are fired up as the Saints push their lead up to a 33-point lead, 77-44. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, fourth quarter action here on the Fighting Saints Network. back for the fourth quarter. Excuse me, Gary. I accidentally had you muted there for a second. 77-44. Saints lead by 33. Good energy here in the PE Center, and you'd have to think that would have been a lot more fun with a crowd full of screaming Carroll
That was
fans.
a pretty amazing quarter.
Absolutely wonderful. Credit to Coach Sayers and her girls executing on all cylinders. Out of the timeout is McDermott, Garrett, Wilkinson, Lyman, and Olsen in the game.
Oh, that's
Wilkinson
nice hands.
with a nice bucket
Genesis has got such great hands. That was a tough catch.
Walking
and then
the
to finish
tightrope
with
through
it,
the
yeah.
lane.
And once again, we saw the chemistry with Maddie and Genesis.
Kara Burlage on the other end, guarded by Garretts. Puts one up off the glass, no good. Garretts gets the rebound. Lyman off to the races for the Saints. 79-44. And if you didn't know already, this Carroll team, they're pretty good. Cutting Wilkinson, kicks it out. Olsen, now McDermott on the drive. Back out to Olsen. Here's Lyman. Wilkinson, pump fakes, nice move, up and in. Genesis Wilkinson for two.
Look at that.
And this is just fun right now, Coach. This is a lot of fun.
It really is. They're just.
LC State with the basketball. It's Burlage. Farmer. The drive, spin move. Edmiston off the rim, no good. Rebound, Olsen. Now Lyman. Lyman working on the wing. Picks up her dribble, passes it off to Olsen. Now McDermott. It's Garrett's on the elbow now. Over the top to Lyman, off the glass, and good for two.
Oh, my goodness.
The Saints are cooking. Peyton Souvenir dumps it off. Mid-range, Burlage off the rim, no good. Rebound, Olsen. You know, they always say when you need to shift the momentum, a stop and a bucket is what you need. The Saints have done the stop and a bucket play about 100 times in a row now, as Wilkinson on the other end puts it in off the glass, and the Saints now leading by 41 points.
It's hard to imagine. I don't think LC State has ever experienced anything like this. Maybe by a Division I team, but certainly not a Frontier team.
Burlage off the pass from Souvenir, puts it up, draws the foul. She'll go to the line to shoot two. Before she does that, reminder, Carroll basketball, Carroll athletics in general, sponsored by Lithia. The large inventory of trucks, SUVs, and more. Visit Lithia, Chrysler Jeep Dodge of Helena, and Chevrolet Buick GMC of Helena, a Lithia store to get the most out of Montana. Proud sponsor of Saints Athletics and the Punt Away to Mexico contest of Fighting Saints football games. Burlage knocks in her first free throw. Also, U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank will meet all of your needs in personal business banking, as well as help you with investing and wealth management. U.S. Bank, all of us serving you. As Burlage knocks in her second. 85-46, Saints in the driver's seat. And Gary, I don't want to jinx it, but I think 100 points is in play now for the Saints.
Well, LC, they're going to start to press now, and it's interesting to see how well Carroll handles the press. Haven't had much time to work on it.
Wilkinson on the elbow. Takes off the dribble on Burlage. Little scoop shot, no good. Rebounded by Johnson. Tipped pass in transition. Burlage ends up with it. Burlage goes to the hoop, draws the foul. That's on Wilkinson. Wilkinson will help Burlage up, as that'll send Kiara Burlage to the line to shoot free throws. Get proud sponsors of Carroll Athletics, Harrington Pepsi. Nothing goes better with Saints basketball than ice-cold Pepsi.
Burlage and Anderson are good players, and they just haven't been able to get going tonight.
Free throw up. And that one's good for Burlage.
And if she makes this free throw, we'll see LC State's zone press, which is pretty good. Mm-hmm. It's been good over the years, and I've seen them come back from some big scores before. Maybe not this big.
Coach Sayers bringing in three of her starters.
Yeah, she sees that press, and she wants to make sure that she's got.
It's like a diamond press.
Yeah, it can change. This one is probably the one where they're going to trap the inbounds here.
Yeah. Denny will inbound. Saints run their press break. They get it into Lyman. There's that trap in the corner like you talked about. Lyman looking to break the double team. She gets it across the court to Swanek. Swanek looking to get across. She's got 2 on her. She gets it across to Lyman, and now Lyman is fouled. Very physical brand of basketball by LC State there.
Now, that's not the way Carroll wants to handle that press, I promise you. They don't want to throw it to their smallest guard in the corner and let her get trapped.
Yeah, double teamed by 2 people who are about 6 feet tall.
Yeah. But I don't know how much time they've had to work against the press.
Over the top, it's Lyman to Pickens. Pickens on the block. She draws the foul. She'll go to line for 2.
I've seen him work that sideline out of bounds play several times. It's been very effective.
I like that lob.
Yeah.
Team second, her first 2 free throws, Jamie Pickens.
Pickens wearing those Carroll-colored Laker edition of the LeBrons, the Air Max Soul, white with the purple accent.
Oh, there you
little
go.
Gold on there.
There you go. Yeah.
Of course, the Lakers NBA champions this season. Pickens' first free throw is up and good. Jamie will shoot 1 more here. It's up, and she knocks it in. 87-48, 6:50 left in the ball game. And the Saints have held LC State up to this point to 11 points in the second half. Burlage for 3, looking to make it 14, no good. Rebounded by Denny. Now Lyman. Lyman taking it off the dribble. Now Denny with it. High pick from Jamie. Pickens with it, top of the key. Saints running a motion offense here. Another screen from Pickens. Out to Wagner in the corner. Shot clock under 10 seconds for the Saints. Wagner loses control against Swanek. Swanek's going to have to figure something out here. She drives, pump fakes, puts it up, and doesn't get the roll, but there's Pickens with an offensive rebound, but can't get the putback. Nice defense there by Edmiston on Pickens after the board to test that shot. Farmer hands it off. Edmiston on the drive, steps through, up, and can't get the roll. LC State with some tough luck.
That was a nice move, very nice move.
Jansen Edmiston, a very talented scorer for this LC State team.
And she really kept them in it the first half. Not so much this half. They haven't been able to get much going.
And like you said earlier, hard to guard, very difficult to defend. 3-pointer up from Wagner. That one's no good. Denny comes down with the board. Saints slowing it down. Shot clock down to 10. Denny up top. Pickens fakes the handoff. Mid-range J, no good. A little play action there from Jamie Pickens. Christine Denny comes up with the steal, however. Saints just playing an immaculate half of basketball.
And just smart play there by Christine, not to take a quick shot. The clock's your friend.
Swanek, corner, inside to Pickens, and Pickens is fouled on the entry pass. Only a 3rd-team foul on LC State, so no free throws yet, but that is 4 fouls on Kiara Burlage. Saints leading by 39. Every time I look at the scoreboard, I'm surprised, Coach.
You know, I don't think, Daniel, that LC is quite as deep as they've been. Now, Coach Orr told me that they have a couple of freshmen that he left home that are injured, that he really likes, which is going to help his depth a little bit. But I don't think they've had many practices either. I think they've,
Especially when they're not sure what their conference season is going to look like.
Exactly. Yeah, they're really worried about that conference.
Swanek off to Wagner. Now Swanek again, far side. Inside to Pickens, kicks it out. Wagner, another 3. Of course. Danny Wagner is automatic.
And just great passing. Jamie Pickens is a good passer. Maybe a really good passer.
Very, very talented.
You put her at that high post and she's such a big target. When she catches it, she can see over the zone.
Not only she can see over it, but she's a threat to drive the ball to the rim. She's a threat to shoot the elbow jumper, and she's a threat to fire off a pass in any direction.
Yep. You know, Daniel, we should probably I don't think it's any secret that Carroll's got a road trip scheduled for Monday. Do you know much about that?
I do not know much about that.
Okay, well, we get a timeout or something. I'll visit with us a little bit more about it.
Gotcha. And also important to note that the Carroll men's game that was supposed to be played today at Dickinson State is canceled. So if you're looking for that and you haven't been filled in yet, I know there was a tweet out on the Carroll Athletics page, but no game for Coach Paulson and his team in Dickinson State today. Hilborn running point. It's Wagner now. Over to Swanek. Now Pickens. Inside to Denny. Denny, turnaround Jay, and it's good.
Another nice pass by Jamie Pickens. So you see the chemistry with Pickens and Christine. That's the same, you know, with Maddie and Genesis, and that comes from practicing together. You know, on the starting lineup and the second team, you really get chemistry with players.
And there's a steal from Denny. Denny will slow it down. Denny, a Swiss Army knife of many talents. We saw her come in as a freshman and exclusively almost run the point. And since then, they've just used her wherever they see the need and see a fit. Denny takes a jab step, drives baseline. Her shot is blocked out of bounds. Carroll will keep it inbound from the baseline. Quad of subs checking in for the Saints. We got Wilkinson, Garretts, McDermott. Kyle Olson checking in. They'll keep Camden Hilborn out there for now. 92-48. Saints looking to build. McDermott off the inbounds play. Mid-range, no good off the rim. Farmer to the other end. She drives.
Ooh.
And a blocking foul called on Olson. I don't know about that.
Yeah, she lowered her shoulder.
Got knocked to the ground pretty hard. And a great weekend for Kyle Olson, getting a lot of minutes here.
Yes. She's going to be a player. She's getting more confidence all the time.
Very highly touted recruit out of Three Forks. Pretty much a local product. Three Forks about an hour up the road. McDermott knocks it loose. It's stolen by Hilborn, and Hilborn is fouled. That'll be the Warriors' 5th foul, so Camden should be going to the free throw line.
So Carroll's got a pretty long road trip. They're headed out to Oregon country on tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
And they will play at Oregon State on Monday, and they will play at Oregon on Wednesday. So they're not just playing up, they're playing up mid. They're playing major majors, not mid-majors, major majors. Oregon State last year probably would have been the odds-on favorite to win the NCAA championship.
And don't forget the Ducks had Sabrina Ionescu,
Well, there you go.
One of the best women's basketball players I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, yeah, and she showed it in the pros. So,
yeah,
you know, they're getting a nice guarantee, but you know, you just you're going against a couple of 6'9" teams, girls that are 6'9" inside.
It's going to be a nice test.
Well, if ever you're going to do that, this would be the year. You don't ever want to do something like that when you're not pretty good.
Yeah. Turnaround Jay there. That one's no good from Edmiston. You know, there's some players on this team who have, I mean, Camden and Jamie have played Division I basketball, and I'm sure a number of other girls have had opportunities to do so. But, you know, when you got the chance to come to Carroll, why pass it up? Garretts, 3, got it. Wow. Maddie Garretts, 13 points on the day. Credit McDermott with the assist there. That's a nice bucket for Maddie. 3-pointer on the other end from Farmer. Not good. Rebounded by Wilkinson. Now Hilborn. Now McDermott open 3 from the wing. Oh, off the rim, no good. Saints leading 97-48. About as quick as, or as close as you can get to 100.
That's a tough matchup for Kyle Olson guarding Larson, who is really a strong physical player, kind of puts her shoulder down and just rolls over you.
Seriously.
But it'll be good for Kyle because there's nobody she's going to guard that's bigger and stronger than her.
Over the top, the Warriors go. Here's a runner from Schroeder, no good. Rebounded by Olson. Olson will slow it down, and something tells me the Saints here are going to try and get the ball into the hands of either Rakaya Grandy or Erica Nesson for a bucket. Wilkinson on the elbow, up to Nesson. Nesson off the dribble, and she buries it. Erica Nesson for 2. 99-48. The Saints lead now at 51 points.
That didn't take her long.
No. Just an embarrassment of riches today for Carroll College. ball move for the Warriors. Farmer passes it off. Edmiston now, guarded by McDermott. She takes a three. No good. Tell you, she's got a difficult shot to defend, but Molly McDermott's got the length to do it.
She is long. If she puts that hand up, it's tough to shoot over her.
Rakai Grandi on the other end, looking for Wilkinson. It's turned over, and then Rakai goes for a steal.
Steal, Alexis Sikora.
LC ends up with it. 22 on the shot clock, 27 on the game clock. About a 5-second differential here. And a travel there on Farmer. 23 seconds left. Looks like the Saints are going to finish with 99. The score of 99 to 48, a 51 point.
Yeah, I don't think they will take a shot, which will be classy.
Yes.
Because you don't want to score 100 by taking a shot with 15 seconds to go in a game.
Gosh, no.
That is pure class by Coach Rochelle Sayers right there.
Kyle Olson will dribble out the clock. And a great first half, but how about this? The Saints allowed 7 points in the third quarter and only 4 points in the fourth quarter.
Amazing.
They outscored them. Let's see. Let me see if I can do my math right. 53-11. They outscored LC in the second half.
Holy cow!
Wow. I mean, I knew this team was good, but that was a masterclass by them. And a lot of reasons LC State not at full strength, but that's a 51-point victory. No matter how you spin it.
That's just that was you can't physically play much better than that they did the second half. Really can't.
We're just going to stay right here, go through a quick rundown of some of the stats. I'll read them off for you,
okay.
Gary. 38 of 74, Carroll shot from the field. That's 51.3%. LC State shooting 15 of 45. So Carroll shot 29 more field goal attempts than LC State did. From three, Carroll 14 of 31, shooting 45%. LC 4 of 16. At the free throw line, Carroll 9 of 10. LC 14 of 21. Carroll won the rebounding battle 47-25 with 16 offensive rebounds. Carroll had 25 assists to LC 7, and Carroll turned the ball over only 8 times compared to 16 turnovers from LC State. Looking at individual numbers, how about Tanny Wagner, tip of the cap, 24 points.
Yeah.
12 for Swanwick, 13 for Garretts, 11 for Hilborn, 8 for Pickens. 11 for Denny, 5 for Lyman, and 10 for Genesis Wilkinson. How about Genesis Wilkinson off the bench? 10 points and 5 rebounds. Garretts with 13 points and 4 rebounds off the bench for LC. 15 points for Kiara Burlage, 10 points for Jansen Edmiston, 8 for Abby Johnson. Those were their leading scores. Just dominance.
It was just an amazing performance. The Carroll came out the second half and just played about as well as you can play against a zone. And that is a good zone that LC State has. It's been their basic defense for 20 years, and Carroll just took it apart with that. And then LC kind of had to play man-to-man, which they don't want to play. And then at the other end, Carroll just got in front of those dribble drive players and said, "Okay, I don't think you're going to beat me so much tonight. I'm going to keep the ball in front of me, and if you do beat me, I'm not going to foul you." And the combination of those two things, it just turned into a blowout.
An absolute masterclass, like I said, by Coach Sayers and her team. 99-48, the final score. We can wrap this thing up now, Coach, but any final thoughts? It was a pleasure to be here this weekend. 4 total basketball games here in the PE Center. Hopefully a lot more basketball left to be played this season, starting for our women going to Oregon playing the Ducks